Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen. We're going to finish our Christmas cake today, and what we need to do is to marzipan it. Just put a layer of golden marzipan on. This does come in different different types. You can get brandy marzipan, which is a white one, and you can get just a plain white one, but this is the usual yellow marzipan, which I love. And instead of doing royal icing, which I did last year, I do like to mix things up a bit. This year I'm going to do fondant icing, and this comes in a pack and it's very hard, so it has to be manipulated, and so does this, and rolled out, but I'll show you that in a minute. I've got my rolling pin and a knife and my marmalade. Now this year I'm using marmalade on the top of my Christmas cake to stick on the marzipan, because it's opened. For one thing, it's best to use something that's opened, and I ordered some apricot jam, which is what I usually use, but I've just gone to get it out of the cupboard, and whoever picked up my shopping when it came this week from my usual source picked up marmalade instead, and it's got big chunks in it of peel, and we don't like that. But this marmalade that we use is very nice, and it hasn't got those big chunks. So let's open up our cake. Oh my goodness, what a lovely smell. I wish we had smelly vision. Let's waft it, see if you can smell it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I've got my lovely ornaments from Elizabeth and Vanessa, so thank you again for those. We're going to put them on. Now this cake smells absolutely gorgeous, and we're going to flip him over because we had him bottom up to put the brandy in, and there's the top of the cake. What we're going to do is we're going to put some marmalade on the top, or apricot jam if you've got that. Just give it a stir. There we go. Just to stick the marzipan onto our cake. So we need a nice layer of that onto the top of our cake, just to stick our marzipan on top. I'm sorry about the noise, that's my fridge freezer. I expect you heard it last time I did a video in here, because it is quite noisy. I don't know why it's so noisy. But it's 3 years old now. We've had our kitchen 3 years. It was replaced, so it might be nearly time for a new fridge freezer. There we go. We've got a nice layer on top of the cake, and that will help our marzipan to stick to our cake. Just pop that back in the fridge. I can have that on my toast tomorrow and put that away in my dishwasher. I always try and be as tidy as I can. It's not always possible, but I do. I'll just move the cake out of the way for a moment. And we need our marzipan. Just move that out of the way as well. Just bring you a bit closer. Now, my marzipan is quite soft, so let's just get my scissors. We'll open this up. And what I've got, so it doesn't stick to the surface of my island here, this has all been wiped down before with antibacterial wipes, so it's all clean, because I like to do on the top of here. I'm going to use some royal icing sugar so that it doesn't stick to the bench. So just put a bit of that on. And we'll get this out. So that's a lovely yellow colour. And we're going to do this into a square. It's nice and soft, so I might be able to do it from that. Just put a little bit of icing sugar on here. Let's start the rolling process. Just tease it out a little bit. There we go. There's one way. Make it a bit longer. I'm trying to think how big my cake is. And I'll just stop you there and I'll finish rolling it out, because you don't want to be watching me do that for half an hour, do you? There we go. I've rolled this out and I'm now going to place it on top of my Christmas cake and then just smooth it down onto it. There we go. And it just coats the top of the cake like that. Right, and then we just, I don't know if you can see, yeah? We're just going to trim it a bit because it's a little bit uneven. I mean, it's very hard to roll anything and get it perfect. So you just trim the edge off. Need a nice sharp knife for this. Just leave it so it comes over the edge a little bit. There's some nice marzipan for me to eat because I love marzipan. Do you know, I was looking at marzipan fruits when I went up to the shop the other day. £10 for a box of marzipan sweets. I mean, they're lovely, but they're so expensive. So I always eat the offcuts. So there we are, we've got the top of our cake perfectly done in our lovely golden marzipan. And I'm going to have a bit. Love marzipan. Lovely. Right. So now I need to roll out my icing sugar. Now, as I said, this is fondant icing sugar that you can get for any cake, not just Christmas cakes. And this will need a bit of manipulation because it's solid. It's white icing, the same as royal icing, but it's softer. Royal icing it dries really hard, whereas this will stay the same basically. So this is going to take a bit of manipulating to get it so that I can use it. Oh, it's not too bad actually. Not too bad at all. Right, let's see if we can roll it a bit. Are you seeing what I'm doing? I hope so. So I'm going to try and roll this out. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. To the size of our cake. So what have you all been up to today? Saturday afternoon here. We've got our house decorated now, ready for our eldest son coming up on Thursday for our family Christmas. So that's really exciting. I've been wrapping up some presents for him this morning. Always makes you feel very festive. We've got all our Christmas lights on. And we're going to go out to tea tonight to Frankie and Benny's. Have their turkey tea because they've got their Christmas meals out. So how am I doing? Just need to come out a bit more on this corner. Need to be a bit wider over here. It's looking about right, isn't it? Yeah. Right, so what I need to do now is to boil the kettle and get some hot water. So bear with me a moment. Again, I've boiled the kettle, and the reason I've done that is because to get the fondant icing to stick to the marzipan, you have to put a little bit of warm water on the top of here, and that will make it stick. So you just need your pastry brush and just put a little bit of hot water on the top. That's it. And that just gives the icing a surface to stick to. There we go. And then we get our icing and we just pop that on the top of the cake and press it down like we did the marzipan, and it will stick on top of the marzipan, no problem. And like I say, this is just a change from royal icing. It's lighter, so you know, it just makes a change. And then you do exactly what you did with the marzipan. You trim it off just so it's nice and even on the side of your cake. Just press it in. There we go. Just need to move it over. It is quite pliable, this, so if you need a little bit more you can just push it over. There wasn't quite enough on that corner. Dropped a bit on the floor. I expect my dog will like that. There we go. Catching it all, yeah. Yeah, see, you can just press it and pull it down a little bit onto that marzipan because it's not quite right there. That's the good thing about this one. It's quite, you know, easy to manipulate. Mind you, so's royal icing really, because you just kind of spread that yourself. And just press it in to your cake and just push it down. There we go. It makes a nice finish on your cake. Press him in, and there you go. That's a nice easy way of doing it. And then you can just roll across the top, because I have a problem of just getting my fingers on it, so I roll across the top just to get any marks out of it, and it flattens it again for you. See, so you've got a nice flat surface. So there you go, there's our cake. And it's all fully marzipan and iced now. So we can put our Christmas decorations on, press it in. Should we stand them together, or, yeah, let's stand them together. There you go, just press them into the cake. And what I bought was, I bought a packet of sugared, they're icing, holly, and it's got some lovely red and white flowers. And I bought these from the cake shop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tip these out. And I'm going to decorate the cake with them because these are edible. And you can just press them onto the cake. Just to make a little design. Just to make it look a bit more Christmassy. Just do 2 to start with. I'll do the corners and then I'll pause you because you don't want to be watching me pushing things into the cake like this. But you just literally push them in, and these are edible. Those look so nice on the cake. I'm so pleased with those. These lovely ornaments from Sweden. You know, I try to do something a little bit different each year. I don't kind of stick to the same design, because last year I just did the snow scene. Whereas this year I thought I'd do something a little bit different. Right, so I'll just pause you a second. So there you go. That's the finished cake. I've put the holly leaves and the red on. The white didn't show up very well, so I've put those in like a random pattern around. I think that looks quite pretty. And how I finish my cake off, I bought some ribbon from our local haberdashery store, and it's a white ribbon and it's got different Christmas trees on the bottom, gold stars, and it says Merry Christmas. And it should be the right size to go around my Christmas cake. It might be a bit big. I might have to cut a bit off, but we'll see. That's just to kind of finish it off, really. It's just a little bit too big, so I'll put that bit in. Tuck it in. That's fine. And that kind of finishes the cake off. I hope that hopefully you can see that. It's just round the cake. And then what I do is I've got these pins that I use for my notice board, and they've got a nice big top on them. Let's get a sparkly one. They've got a nice big head on them, so they're easy for me to take out. And what I do is I just poke that into the cake and the ribbon to keep it in position. So that's the finished cake with its ribbon and its decoration, all ready for my son coming on Thursday. And I don't know about you, but I think that looks lovely. Can you see that okay? I'm not sure what you're seeing, but hopefully you're seeing that okay. And I hope you've enjoyed watching. And while I'm on, I'd like to say thank you all so much for watching me. Washing? Yeah, washing. Yeah, that would be good. For watching me make my Christmas cake and ice it and get it all ready for Christmas. And take this opportunity to wish you all a Merry Christmas and all the very best of good health in the new year. Love you, ladies and gentlemen.